New facial. So we'll be looking at another post on the Korean Eternity section about faces in Mabinogi and how they're going to be reworked in Unreal Engine. So Eternity supports 3-dimensional facial expressions. In this post, I'd like to take time to explain the new facial appearance of Eternity. So currently in Mabinogi, all eyes and mouths are implemented by rendering textures, 2D pictures, onto the face mesh 3D model. To put it simply, blinking eyes, beauty coupons, smiling faces, and crying faces are all implemented by replacing the textures that are rendered at the time. Okay, so this is showing how like the eyes and the face work. So you can see like the examples here and here, and this is like how blinking works. But it's already been 20 years since Militians have lived in Erin. In the meantime, the world has developed rapidly and the appearances of characters in games have become more standardized day by day. These days, games implement beautiful appearances with mesh molding rather than textures. Since textures are only 2D images, it is difficult to express 3-dimensionality or natural movements. Despite the painstaking efforts and research into extreme expressions possible with textures, there are fundamental limits to the range of expressions possible with textures. However, the data accumulated over decades of service and technical limitations of the old engine were holding us back, and it was difficult to proceed while modifying the structure of the game that was already in the midst of a fierce live service. But we are working on replacing it with Unreal Engine. If that's the case, wouldn't Mabinogi also be able to have characters with beautiful appearances like in modern games? Since we're making a new one anyway. But there are some things to consider first. So first, there is a cartoon-like emotional expression unique to Mabinogi that is only possible with textures. This kind of expression is hard to make with mesh, and even if you do, it doesn't have the unique feel of a texture. I mentioned earlier that it's hard to bring out a sense of 3-dimensionality with texture, but in this case it's more natural expression to remove the sense of 3-dimensionality. If you look closely at the first expression in particular, the mouth is sticking out of the face, which you can see here, which is a very ambiguous part to make with mesh. Also, these cartoonish expressions are a unique sensibility of Mabinogi. And second, if you decide to express all the existing texture eyes with meshes, you can't help but think about the fate of the hundreds of existing texture eyes. Since it's a game that's been in service for a long time, there are cases where the resolution of old resources is low, causing a jagged staircase phenomenon in the eyebrows. Then there may be an option to upscale old texture resources, in which case there may be a slight change in impression. From the developer's point of view, the intention was to provide a clearer appearance by cleaning up with the lines and increasing the resolution, but the change in impression felt by the Militians was much greater than we expected. Therefore, even simple upscaling is an area that must be approached carefully. After much internal thought and discussion, we decided to remake all texture eyes in mesh form, except for the expression textures that appear briefly. We will do our best to minimize the difference in impression that will occur during this process. Because of the issues mentioned above, we couldn't completely abandon the eyes or mouths expressed with texture. We sought a way to express both. First of all, since the basic eye expression has changed from texture to mesh, the method of simply replacing the stickers to be attached to the mesh as shown above cannot be used. Instead, the mesh itself for the eye area needs to be replaced. To do this, Eternity had to separate the face part into eye, mouth, face, shape sections. So here you can see the three different sections. There's the face, and then there's the eyes, and then there's the mouth. In the future, instead of just replacing the stickers that go on the eyes or mouth area, you'll be replacing the eyes or chin itself. To continue with the following explanation, we first need to know about morphing. It's similar in 3D. It's a smooth connection between mesh in state A to mesh in state B. Morphing allows you to create a variety of expressions from a single eye-mouth mesh. For a completely different shaped eyes, such as Beauty Coupon, you must replace the mesh itself. So how do we express both mesh eyes and texture eyes through this morphing thing? From now on, Eternity's characters are Transformers. The purpose of this unidentified mask is as follows. So when making an expression that can only be expressed with this type of texture, the mask moves forward in front of the eyes through morphing, attaching texture to the advanced mask. When it returns to the default expression after a certain amount of time has passed, back again through morphing behind the eyes. This process allowed us to express both texture and mesh expressions as needed. And you can see how like the texture expression like pushes out and moves, it covers the eyes. So that's how that works. But in the actual game, it's processed in a split second, so you don't notice these processes. But like, this is what's really going on. That's cool. The mouth is processed in the same way as the eyes. So far, we have introduced you to Eternity's new facial system. How do you like it? I'm already excited to walk around in Erin with my new look. I hope you Militians like it too. So yeah, this was a very interesting read about like how faces currently work in Leon Engine and how they're going to work in Unreal Engine. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Eternity section. So, Mabinogi H-line skirt production. In this article, I will introduce the process of making a slim skirt, a type of skirt that is not commonly used in games. In the last post, the fact is that the Popo skirt is, that's covered in one of the other Eternity posts. We covered the process of combining key animation, physics, and retargeting to create a flowing skirt and hair. However, in Mabinogi, there are various costumes that are difficult to solve with this method alone. This time in particular, we'll talk about the process of expressing clothing such as the slim skirt that fits the legs perfectly. A short, slim skirt, usually above the knees, is often worn with skinning on the legs. What is skinning? It is a process of applying weights to the surface mesh of a 3D model so that it can move along with the bone that moves along the character. I think the stewardess costume would be the equivalent of the slim skirt example given above. You can see that there are no major problems even if you walk or sit down. So here you can see the stewardess costume. And there's the character like sitting. And there's the character moving. And you can see how like the skirt is moving with the character. So yeah, that looks really good. Among the slim skirts, the slim skirt that goes down to below the knees is not often used in character settings based on this book. An example would be the Eleanor New Look dress. I think the developers put a lot of thought into presenting as many different chairs as possible. It couldn't be helped. I created a skirt pattern using the method used in the Popo skirt is actually post, and then proceeded with skinning it. The skirt's natural form, which is attractive for its fitted feel on the legs, was not preserved, and instead it ended up looking too eerie, which was not what was intended. So here you can see what it looks like. This time I tried skinning the legs like I did for the stewardess costume. And here you can see what it looks like in this example. It kind of looks like the legs are kind of clipping through in the back maybe, I don't know. And maybe in like in the front, like kind of near the knees. When standing still, the fit is maintained, but when moving, the skin on the knees and thighs is exposed through the clothing. So yeah, I was right. So if you look at it, you can see like the skin coming through on the knees and like the back of their legs. It's like clipping through, that's bad. A sense of form, natural movement, unable to give up either one, I began to wonder if there was a way to express the advantages of both methods. Is there any way to maintain a fitted shape but prevent skin from poking through the knees and thighs? I installed an additional piece to assist with rotation according to the movement of the leg. Yeah, you don't want clipping through the actual skirt or clothing because that just doesn't look good. However, I was not able to get satisfactory results because the texture between the legs was excessively stretched. Splitting the skirt mesh did not stop the map from growing. So you can see how like it's too stretched out, like right here. To compensate for the excessive stretching of the texture, I set up an additional bone that only follows 70% of the leg movement when the leg moves along a certain axis. But it's not easy. Problems still occur. Like you can see in this, that still looks a little stretched out down here. It doesn't look good. Though it responded to the rotation of the body, it did not respond to the change in length, so the shape of the skirt became even more strange. There were more problems than I can list in the text. We added nodes that respond to changes in the length of the main body and control the length of the auxiliary body, and we did some additional work on some parts and tested them. So you can see like a picture here where like the skin of the knee and part of the leg is like coming through the skirt, and here it's not. In the test environment, it seems to have been somewhat resolved. So this looks a little bit better in this example. It's not perfect, but it's better. How would this be applied in the in-game environment? Here's another example. Yeah, this looks a lot better. Although it's not as perfect as in reality, you can see that the shape of the skirt is maintained and the texture is greatly improved in stretching areas. The part where the skin was poking out also disappeared completely. So yeah, it doesn't look perfect, but it is a massive improvement over the other results. Let's compare the images when skinning was done only on the legs without additional bone settings, and when skinning was done after the additional bone settings. So this is what it looked like before, this is what it looked like after. Before, after. Yeah, you can see that this looks a lot better. Looking at the before and after images, it seems to have improved a lot. Of course, due to the nature of the game, there may still be some imperfect parts. But moving away from expressions like steel hair or steel skirts, we are constantly working to ensure that you, the Militians, can enjoy the show as beautifully as possible. So yeah, I think they're working really hard on this. Alright, let's look at another post in the Korean Attorney section of Mabinogi. So, high heel straps are not even. As you all know, there is a very strange phenomenon in Eren. It is a phenomenon where you are clearly wearing stockings, but when you change your shoes, they change into leggings. So here's the example. However, there are shoes that do not exhibit this strange phenomenon. So it only happens with like certain pairs of shoes, like with the bunny slippers, it's not happening, and then like with these shoes, it is. To explain this, let's take a quick detour and look at body structure of Militians. The body of Militian includes the feet. Because the basic foot shape was made flat, it was impossible to express a pointed toe like when wearing high heels. We have successfully implemented the method of hiding the base foot and attaching the high heels to the body. However, because the basic feet are artificially hidden, development proceeds with two problems. So 1, due to the absence of a basic foot, the shoe itself had to be designed to have a foot designed so that the instep is not visible, and 2, because the ankle connecting the leg and shoe was not smooth, the design of the ankle strap had to be included. Since the base foot was removed, it was impossible to wear high heels on bare feet. But this was solved by adding instep skin to the shoes. So that's how the strange phenomenon mentioned earlier occurred. What it looks like when you wear high heels that reveal the instep. From the development team's perspective, it was a bit awkward for the stockings to disappear when the instep was exposed. But in order to solve this, depending on the type of item, a new system had to be built to allow for separate shader code to be executed. When rendering the instep skin of the shoe, we also needed the ability to reference the foot texture on the outfit. It was impossible to solve these problems in Leon Engine, which has a lot of legacy code woven into it. However, Eternity's Unreal Engine supports all the features mentioned above. Design constraints 1 and 2 have been removed. The screenshot below is the result of testing the Love Island decoration shoes by making them in the Eternity high heel modeling method. You can see that the stockings and shoes are worn together, but they are still connected at the ankle without any break. So when wearing Love Island decoration shoes with Love Island decoration wear and Street Magician outfit and stockings. So here you can see that the problem isn't happening anymore. The new high heels from Eternity will be more attractive and natural as shown in the example above. So yeah, it's nice they're fixing little outfit glitches like this. Should give a lot more fashion choices when we move to Eternity. So this video recently came out in Korea about 18 hours ago, 18 or 19 hours ago, almost a day. And this is called Mabinogi Eternity Battle Testing and Development Status. So let's take a look at this. And we have English closed captioning for this.
안녕하세요. 마비노기 총괄 디렉터 미경훈입니다.
This is Min Kyung-un, the general director of Mabinogi Eternity. So last summer we showed you Eternity's development and status and internal testing site.
뒤로 이터니티가 어떤 모습으로 찾아올지 많은 밀레시안 여러분들께서 궁금해하셨을 것 같습니다.
I think Militians have been curious about what Eternity will look like.
그래서 이번에는
So this time we've prepared a meaningful opportunity to invite you, our Militians, to the boss battle we're currently developing, and hear your opinions.
그간 이터니티에 보내주신 성원만큼이나 큰 관심과 열정을 제가 직접
At the test site, I was able to personally experience the great interest and passion that has been shown to Eternity so far. This test was shown... This test was conducted as a combat-focused test. So this is going to be like about the... I think it's going to be like about the Glass Scavellon boss fight. I prepared this video to convey the changed appearance of Eternity. Okay, so if we actually turn these off for a second, we can actually see the game screen right here. We have a better idea of what the UI is going to look like. It looks like there's some status effects listed down here, our HP, Our MP and our stamina skills will be down here. I wonder if you'll be able to move this around, the skill bar. And we can also see what the minimap will sort of look like. And then it looks like this is going to be the party information. So it looks like, I think these are the Arcana. So you'll be able to tell which party member has which Arcana for parties just by looking at the icons. That looks like it's going to be pretty helpful.
생생하게 전해드리고 조금이나마 궁금하신 점을
Okay, here's the boss fight.
영상을 준비해 보았습니다. 그럼 지금부터 이터니티 전투의 모습이 어떻게
Now I'll show you how the Eternity battle has changed, step by step along the test site.
이번 테스트는
This test will present a reimagined version of the battle with the final boss, the Xanafiedlion.
글라스 기분행과의 전투를 새롭게 재구성해서 선보여드리게 됐습니다.
Yeah, so we've seen some new Eternity posts about this guy, but now we can actually see like some of the boss fight in action. So this looks pretty good. We can see the full what the interface will look like. So here's our skills. There's the boss's HP. And you can see all your party members, what Arcana they're in, who's the leader. The mini-map is over there. It's being blocked by the Mabinogi logo, but the mini-map is there. And this is the new boss room. They talked about this in one of their posts. The boss room is going to change. The gargoyle statues are going to do more. You're going to have to like do something with those gems, those purple gems over there.
구현하려고 노력을 했고 이러한 디테일과 발전된 표현을 통해서 보스전
they tried to add like more movements and mechanics. So here you can see the way that it currently is, and here you can see like the new changes that they're making to it.
패턴이 완전히 다르지는 않습니다.
The strategy pattern is not completely different from the existing boss battles. However, we added new gimmicks to provide a variety of changes within the familiarity so that you can fully enjoy the fun through cooperation with party members. And we put a lot of effort into making the game more enjoyable through enhanced visibility and splendid production. We plan to continue to refine and perfect Eternity's unique boss battles, so please look forward to the future changes. And in this test, we increased the expressiveness of skill effects, along with new productions that were difficult to implement in Pleon. As you break through the Xanafiedlion's mood patterns and gimmicks, and reach a certain point, a cutscene-like transition scene will appear. Even during this moment, the battle continues, so you feel the tension without letting go, and feel the feeling that a new page is beginning more clearly. Yeah, that's pretty cool. After the transition is finished, it will fold to page 2. The background changes to a more tense one and a more violent Xanafiedlion. We intended to create more fast-paced and tense battle experience by changing not only the pattern but also the atmosphere of the space along with the page transition. Feedback you've given us during this Xanafiedlion Basics battle test will be used as valuable data to refine the overall battle tempo. Okay, yeah, so it looks like this is maybe going to be some sort of like closed beta test that actual players can do. Hopefully that's the case over in Korea. And it looks like they're open to feedback, so that's good. That's definitely the right move if that's like what they're doing.
발전된 모습을 기대해 주셔도 좋습니다. 앞서 보신 것과 같이 보스전의 연출
As you can see above, there have been significant changes not only to the presentation of boss battles, but also to the skill
기존의 분위기는
effects.
유지하면서 이터니티 스타일에 맞
While maintaining the original atmosphere, we have improved the skill effects to be more flashy to fit the Eternity style.
보다 색감과 궤적 그리고 피니시 순간의 연출을 강화해서
Overall, we have strengthened the color, trajectory, and finishing moment presentation to ensure that it can be recognized at a glance even during party play. And we will continue to work hard to develop it so that we can continue to show you more advanced Arcana skills in the future.
이터니티 프로젝트의 아주 일부
I believe that the fact that we were able to show you a small part of the Eternity project
부분이나마 직접 보여드리고 이렇게 현장 테스트까지
and conduct
진행해 볼
field
수
tests
있었던
like
것은
this
오랫동안 이터니티를 기다려주신 밀레시안 여러분들의 관심과 응원 덕분이라고 생각합니다.
is thanks to the interest and support of all the Militians who have waited for Eternity for a long time. We will do our best to show you an improved version as soon as possible. So, yeah, I don't know how long it's going to be before we get new information. But I'm assuming that we'll get another update on Eternity by the next fantasy party, which will probably be like in June sometime. But yeah, this is the most recent video with some updates. This was pretty interesting. Oh, let's see here. Let me pull this one up. There we go. Alright, let's play some Mabinogi today. So we're gonna do some dailies, some techs, and maybe some commerce at the end. So when's that new trade season start up again? On the 5th, so that's gonna be... This one ends on Thursday, so the new trade season will start up like Friday or something. Okay, so today and tomorrow will be the last 2 days to get my commerce stuff all straightened out. Let's go figure out what the veteran dungeon is going to be today. Oh wait, veteran dungeon's back here. So, math dungeon today. Get him near 8.
아고, 한숨 돌리고 이랬으면.
And what's the normal daily dungeon? Also, what about the voucher shop? How many vouchers do I have? We have 99 for here. I mean, I guess I could get some XP fruit, but that's about it. Berry dungeon.
접수하실 분 오세요.
So, since I have an unlimited veteran foamer pass, we're going to do Berry dungeon on the veteran level as well. We'll do math dungeon first. Okay, it looks like we have Arsenal Gunner active. Okay, so I actually can't change equipment slots when I'm transformed. So dual guns and staff. Oh yeah, and spirit weapon work. I did not work on raising my spirit weapons bond over the weekend. I should have done that. Like, that was a mistake. Oh well, there's still lots of time to level her up for the Arcana. I mean, do I need 3 for the next one? So yeah, we can take that skill up. Raise the bond again. Today I want speed potions, so we can clear this as fast as possible. Alright, let's go. And now for the boss. Well, bosses. There are 3 of them. Let's go ahead and get that one first. Done in 19 minutes and 49 seconds. Another unlimited veteran filmer pass. Gem powder, spirit gems. Okay, let's divide that. So, Berry Dungeon next. Oh, those aren't even fixed as. Well, I have no use for that then. Just toss them. Alright, and now Berry Dungeon. Hopefully we'll get some fine leather to drop here too. I think about 3 pieces dropped in Math Dungeon. That was nice.
Livestream.
And now for the bosses. So there are 5 of them. I think I can get like 4 with one of these. Those 2. And that one's down. That one's down. Two left. And done. 16 minutes and 58 seconds. Two vet dungeons in under an hour. Gem powder, spirit gems, smoldering threads, a sapphire. Okay, I guess I'll jump into text next. So let's switch over to Dark Diviner. So we're gonna do 4 tech runs. Use up all that neurite. Alright, and that's 4 tech runs. So what about tech skills? Let's take a look. Okay, let's get some crystals of achievement and level up this one. I don't think of it. Do I have any new quests for learning techniques? Okay, nothing I want to work on right now. But yeah, we'll get... Well, actually, before I open those boxes, let's focus on... Oh wait, we don't need to worry. Tenacious's not as so high level. How many of those green crystals do I have? Like those good ones? The noble ones? Yeah, we have a lot of those. Okay. And if I do a mission, I should be able to get the points I need to level up that other skill. So what about a shadow mission? What kind of shadow missions do we have? Sniper War, that one's not too bad. Yeah, let's do Sniper War and Tara. Let's try and draw a pass. Oops. There. Receive items. Random items. And that's done, so... Where's that skill at? Level 9. And now we're gonna do some commerce. So where do I want to commerce from? I should work on my cob rating a little bit. Let's start there. And we'll take the Satara. And to speed things up, we have these speed potions. Okay, we're gonna go to Cobb again. And same thing, probably. We're gonna take something to Tara again. Because I would like to get my Cobb rating up to level 7 before the new trade season starts. Because I'm gonna try and finish the upcoming trade season. Get the challenger rank and all that. Okay, we're 75% of the way to level 7. Oh, one thing I want to do is do a rebirth, actually. I should have done that before I started doing my commerce. But I want to get to around level 60, and then tomorrow we're going to do Nowhere to Run on Elite like once or twice, because I got some Baltane crystals. And we're getting like a really big XP potion and a Forgetful potion and stuff from the Pan's attendance event. And also, let's switch to Forbidden Alchemist. That means no more Dark Diviner skills during commerce, but I don't really need them for commerce, if I'm being honest. Thunder is more than enough. Okay, back to Cobb. And back to Tara. So maybe 2 more commerce strips should do it. That's what I'm kind of guessing. It's kind of boring, but let's finish it out. I want to get that cob rating done. Oh, someone has a campfire set up in town. That's cool. They're worth a little bit less at Tara now, but they're still worth enough. Go take these jellyfish over there. Oh wow, yeah, it's like right there. So one more round will definitely do it. Let's get the Cobb rating done, and then maybe I can work on an Idia rating or something tomorrow. Then we'll be all set for the new trade season. Gonna have a lot of really heavy commerce focused streams in the future. Okay, we'll just drop these ones off at Tilton. Don't need to go as far. How much longer is that speed potion gonna last? About 40 more seconds. And there it is, level 7. Oh, let's sell that awakened strength fragment that I have. So... here, let's put this over here. We'll get the 50k for that. And then... wait, what was I gonna do next? Oh yeah, let's repair everything. And then we'll deposit the rest. This one has a lot of enchant scrolls. Should go through those one day. Oh, these are from the free run event. These are free run titles. A lot of these just give the same effect, I think. I wonder what something like these sell for. Let's look up the hero of the village. Well, whatever. I'll look into it later. Maybe some of those aren't tradable. I don't know. Ooh, this is an old chair. This one's actually pretty cool. I forget what year that is. Must be like... Must be 7 or 8 years old, probably. Okay, this preview for this chair is kind of messed up. But there is an older chair that's kind of similar to this. $20 mil is a lot. Does it even do anything? No. Oh, that one's kind of cool. Like, it'd be cool to use a chair like this in E-Main, probably. Maybe Tara would work too. Oh, this chair for some reason has always been expensive. Not exactly sure why. I don't know if this chair is just like really popular or if it's really rare. Maybe the reason it's so pricey is because like there aren't that many of them floating around. And if I recall right, I think a new piano and a couple other instruments are being sold with the current gacha. Let's see how much those are worth. It's amazing how you can get a piano for like under, like just a little over $1 mil, around $1 mil. When back in the old days, a piano would go for like 5 or 10 mil. And that was before the auction house. Oh, even this one's pretty cheap. Is this the new one? I think this might be the new one. Yeah, okay, so this one is worth like 9 mil? Huh. Probably not gonna get it, but I'm just like curious about the price. Alright, well, I think we'll wrap things up right around here for today. So tomorrow we'll do a tech, we'll do Nowhere to Run a little bit, the vet dungeon, and maybe a little bit of commerce, and get ready for the new trade season. So that's sort of the plan going forward. We're just gonna do a couple dailies, and then when the new trade season starts, we're gonna really start focusing more on commerce.